Okay, we're going to call the City Council meeting to order. Monday, June 12th, 7 p.m. Roll call.
Michelle Otto.
David Paradise.
Herbie Moyna.
Sam Solars.
Nicole Andrioff.
Justin Kness.
Dan Reamer.
Michael Sommerfeld.
Jessica Boniwell.
Invocation.
Let us pray. God, we thank you for this wonderful start of summer. We pray blessings on families as they start their summer schedule. May you continue to protect our children as they participate in summer activities. May you bless those here attending this meeting who are taking time away from their families. Lord, we pray blessings on the leaders and workers of Montrose. May you continue to strengthen them through tough days and work, and fill them with your love as they serve our community. May you continue to bless this time together building community. May we continue to work to meet the needs of Montrose. And may we continue to sow the seeds of growth so that the city of Montrose may bloom and flourish. We pray this in your holy and precious name. Amen.
Amen. Thanks, Pastor Mark. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of the agenda. Under new business, there will be new business. It'll be donation for or from? For Celebrate Montrose.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Further discussion? Mr. Solars?
Aye.
Ms. Andrioff?
Aye.
I'll vote aye. Mr. Paradise?
Aye.
Ms. Otto?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0 to pass the amended agenda. Approval of the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I will second.
Further discussion? I'll vote aye. Mr. Paradise?
Aye.
Ms. Otto?
Aye.
Ms. Andrioff?
Aye.
Mr. Solars?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Wright County Sheriff's Office.
Evening. Deputy Matthew Billets, been here a few times before. Like the pastor said, we're starting summer, so a little bit of a change in season. There'll be increased traffic patrol throughout the city. Our our county traffic car will probably be passing through, and you'll probably see local stings here and there throughout the city, mostly on 12, either pedestrian or speed or such. So, and of course, me as well as the other local patrol cars will be doing extra enforcement because of summer and the more traffic. Other than that, just the city kind of local patrol news is there's some few local people that are interested in kind of, say, arresting or taking care of, and are keeping our eyes on, but hopefully we'll get that kind of, those people and those problems kind of figured out here shortly. So, any questions, comments, concerns?
Can you just kind of like do a little extra patrol by the parks?
Parks?
Namely like the skate park on Garfield Avenue?
Sure.
We have some delinquents that frequent that area.
Okay, sure.
Thank you.
Gotten a few complaints out on 3rd Street, I believe, in Garfield, or 2nd Street, excuse me, in Garfield over there. So I will.
Well, this is Garfield and First, north,
Okay.
the north side.
Sure. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you for.
Are there any,
Go.
sorry, I didn't mean
Go
to
ahead.
jump in there. Are there any like trending patterns that you're seeing, not just here, but across the county at all?
Trending patterns. Nothing that comes to mind in terms of that would affect Montrose. It's just the constant threat of fraud. So I guess citizens be aware of phone calls and text messages and educate children and juveniles on fraud, especially via Snapchat. That's one that comes to mind as a reoccurring one. So there's that. Fake accounts and such, and kind of getting people's information. Other than that, on like crime waves coming through the city or anything like that, I would say one that comes up or has been an issue in the past is Casey's. If you fill up your gas, take your keys with you. So we've had a few instances in I don't remember exactly, but I know in the past couple of years, people come on 12, very popular, and they will take advantage sometimes of people leaving their cars with keys in them and will steal their cars. So kind of goes without saying, but small city, you feel comfortable, but you got Highway 12.
Right.
So. Anything else?
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have a request for council action. Charles Smallwood.
Mr. Mayor, council, and staff, I moved into my home in September of 2000. In spring of 2001, the ditch along Emerson Avenue was filled in and a sidewalk was installed. My lot was originally finally graded to drain into that ditch. Now there's a sidewalk. I put drain tile along the edge to try to alleviate some of the water runoff. Then in 2003, the lot behind me that was designated for a walkout was built as a lookout, and they filled in the back of the lot to accommodate that. There was a 4-foot retaining wall along the properties for a number of years. Some of it is still there as part of a garden. Emerson Avenue was then redesigned and they raised the roadway. In 2022, excavation was done along the sidewalk, damaging the tile and the sidewalk, which I understand is going to be fixed. But over the years, the way they filled it in to put the sidewalk in, the sidewalk keeps tilting and shifting. This spring, I put in silt fence, dirt and seeded where they had dug everything up to try to alleviate some of the silting into my landscaping and into my yard. I was just wondering if there was anything that could be done to try to rectify this. I believe you have pictures in your packet that I
Yep.
forwarded to Jessica.
Yeah, we have pictures in here. Danny, do you have anything on the public works side of this that you want to add? Or comments or anything?
The work that was done in 2022 was done by M&P.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not this, it's city subcontractor.
Yeah, M&P had to move lines for some road work that was done for that phase of project over there. So M&P was contacted and told to come back, but I haven't heard nothing. That's all I got.
Yeah, and I had talked with Dan and.
Yeah, I met Chuck over there a few times, and Spencer and me and Chuck also met over there a few times.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, they were just MIA. If you look at the picture where the drain tile was repaired, that I had to repair it, you can see the fill that they used for the sidewalk and how unstable it is. It was never compacted or put in lifts or anything like that. It was pretty much just fill the ditch with what dirt they had on hand and then poured the sidewalk over the top of it, compacting it with a skid loader and a bucket.
So what are you looking for, I guess, Chuck?
Just to alleviate some of the water that keeps coming onto the property. It's affecting 3 properties now. After they lifted Emerson Avenue, most of the water that comes off that corner comes right down the sidewalks. You can see the wear marks over the last couple of years from the water running down it. I don't know if it can be mud jacked back up. My sod is actually about 6 inches above the sidewalk on that side.
Justin, what do you recommend on something like that?
Mayor and council, we haven't really dug into this much. We were waiting for any council direction to look into the issue. It is definitely something we could look at, but I don't really have any thoughts on it right now at this moment. We would have to go out there and take some elevation shots and.
That was done on May 24th. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, yep, and I think when he was out there, he just took some shots when he was out there, but we really, like I said, we were waiting for council. If you wanted us to spend any effort, looking into this, we certainly can do that and bring back some ideas.
Is this an issue from M&P or?
The drainage issue is not an M&P issue, no, not from what I understand. The drainage issue is separate from M&P. The repair of the sidewalk, though, that is, like Dan mentioned, they've been contacted, and we do have a utility permit. I believe the work was done for Windstream. I'm not positive, but whatever utility company that they did that work for would be ultimately responsible to get that restoration completed per our right-of-way ordinance. So if it comes down to it, we can send them a letter from the city attorney and force that issue to be resolved by them. But I think there's 2 separate issues. That's the one, and then the drainage issue is a separate issue.
Okay.
Yeah, the silt fence and the backfilling and seeding that I did alleviated some of the issue from M&P. That's pretty much all they were gonna do to begin with, but they never showed back up.
So what really happens with the water when it comes off of Emerson, it turns the corner to go down Crystal Lane? And instead of turning the corner and going down to the catch basin, it comes down around, wraps to the sidewalk and follows the sidewalk down back toward the south. To me, you'd have to raise that whole sidewalk up and make it more steeper so the rain continues around the corner. So you're talking new curbing, all new sidewalk along that whole block. That's my opinion on it. I don't know what Chuck's opinion is.
I don't have a lot of experience with it, but I do have an experience in construction when they connected the curb to the existing sidewalk. It goes down at a heck of a grade right at the corner there. There'd be a way to just lift that corner, keep the water in the street.
Yeah, or some like a little deeper curb work there, so it doesn't go up the ped ramp that goes to the sidewalk. When it comes around the corner, it just continues to flow down to Crystal Lane. I mean, that's something that, I don't know if we'd have to talk with a curbing guy or a concrete guy or have somebody come out there that's more professional in curb work than me, so. And then maybe have a meeting with the engineers out there and maybe like a French Lake curb guy or something. See if we can alleviate that. But it's gonna, obviously nothing's free, so.
Any other thoughts or questions?
So Justin, so if you go out there and take a look at it and you see that maybe it's M&P or the utility people, and you talked about maybe the city attorney sending something, Is it gonna be on the city to fix it then, or?
Well, there, I
'Cause
know
it's
you're
only
talking
gonna
to
get
Jess, but this
worse.
is two different parts. The drainage part is not gonna be on M&P at all.
Okay,
There's no way we can go after them for the way it drains around the corner. The sidewalk that got pulled out in this one picture, if you go back a couple to the first one, you can obviously see that there on the sidewalk. That was M&P. Everything we're talking about is on the bottom end of the picture, and you can see on the right side of the sidewalk there where the water flows down the edge of the sidewalk. Yep, right there where her arrow is, and it goes all the way down. And now it goes into his backyard right where they ripped that panel out. So, yeah, I mean, this is two different things here.
so what do you suggest?
Are you asking me?
Either one.
Okay.
I don't know nothing about this.
I would say if it's something that the city wants to look at a possible solution for fixing it, that you would, I guess, direct us to meet out there and come up with some possible options, somewhat similar to what we did with the Pheasant Hills drainage issue. You know, we'd spend a little time, take some shots, maybe write up a memo, look at a couple different options to bring back forth to you. Maybe there's a simple solution, maybe there's not a simple solution. I guess that would be a first step. And then from there, you could get a better idea of what the scope would be. If it's a simple, low-cost solution and you wanted to move forward, you could. Or if it's more cost and wanted to budget for it in the future, that'd be something you could consider.
When did this issue start? Did it start when they put the sidewalk in, or was it more recently when they redid and put the curb and everything up?
It's been getting progressively worse since they redid Emerson. The sidewalk was the start of it. Since they redid Emerson, the water flow down the edge of that sidewalk is causing it to tip more and to infiltrate into my backyard. And I'm pretty sure if I didn't have the foresight when I built the house to put interior, exterior, and footing sleeves in, I'd probably have an indoor swimming pool.
I take it you don't want an indoor swimming pool?
No. I'm too old to wear a swimsuit.
And to make that clear, the part of Emerson that was not done in 2023 and 2022, the part of Emerson that was done like, I don't know, 5-6 years ago? When they
Yeah, I didn't have a
curbed it.
date on that. Yeah, I just said the excavating
That little
started in
jaunt there?
22.
Yeah.
So that's what he's talking about. It has nothing to do with the project that happened last year or this
Right.
year. Okay.
Right.
Because there was no curb along that stretch before
No.
at all. So when it rains, that whole road collects the water and that water runs down to the north and then comes back to the south once it follows the sidewalk.
No.
I mean, and it is tilting, and it will get worse and may become a hazard at some point. So, I don't know, maybe we do need to have the engineers take a look at it, to look at possible fixes for this.
Yeah, I agree.
All for a solution.
You want a motion?
Please.
I'll make a motion for Bolton and Mink to go out and take a look at Chuck's property and see what kind of a solution they can come up with. Maybe draft a memo and send it back to council.
I'll second.
Further discussion. Mr. Paradise?
Aye.
I'll vote aye. Mr. Solars?
Aye.
Ms. Andrioff?
Aye.
Ms. Otto?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0 to have Bolton and Mink look at a possible solution for the drainage problem.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chuck.
Thanks, Chuck. City Council.
I went to Park and Rec, council meetings, celebrate Montrose. That's it.
City Council, meeting with Waverly Fire Department, and the Sheriff Derringer meeting.
Did you do your water meeting too?
That was a Waverly
That's what
meeting.
that one was. How was that
Yeah, how'd that
Derringer
go?
meeting?
Oh, was it? It was good. I mean,
Really
it's
informative?
better to be there to hear it than to receive it, to understand why. the different, not only cities, but departments and, other sheriff's departments going up in price. I mean, I think he said the increases that they're seeing, like airport, he's lost at least one guy to the airport. Their minimum now is $50 an hour that they're paying these guys. So, made sense for all the reason why you saw the numbers you did. But definitely wasn't something that was shocking once you hear it from them as to the why.
Right.
How'd the water meeting go? Great.
Water meeting was, we tried to stay on topic.
There was a lot of discussion.
Okay.
Last month, I just had the meeting with Waverly about the water.
City council and planning and zoning.
City council and park and rec.
Fire department,
Mayor and Council, Fire Chief Triplett is unable to make the meeting tonight. His activity report is included in the packet. If you have any questions about that, there are a couple firefighters here that might be able to answer. Otherwise, you can always follow up with Chief Triplett. And then there's a couple new firefighters and some resignations.
looks like we have to accept the resignation of firefighter Justin Phillips, effective 1/1/2023. Justin served with the Montrose Fire Department for 11 years, 7 months, and 1 day.
I'll make a motion to accept Justin Phillips' resignation effective 01/01/23.
I will second.
Further discussion? Mr. Solars?
Aye.
Ms. Andrioff?
Aye.
Ms. Otto?
Aye.
Mr. Paradise?
Aye.
And I'll vote aye. Motion passes 5-0. Need to accept Dustin Falk as a new firefighter with the Montrose Fire Department, effective 4/18/2023.
I will make a motion to accept Dustin Falk as a new firefighter with Montrose Fire Department, effective 4/18/2023.
Second. Further discussion? Mr. Paradise?
Aye.
Ms. Otto?
Aye.
I'll vote aye. Mr. Solars?
Aye.
Ms. Andrioff?
Aye.
I'll make a motion to accept Evan Keiko as a new firefighter with the Montrose Fire Department, effective 5/8/2023.
I will second.
Further discussion? I'll vote aye. Mr. Solars?
Aye.
Mr. Paradise?
Aye.
Ms. Otto?
Aye.
Ms. Andrioff?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Now I'll make a motion to accept the resignation of firefighter Dustin Falk, effective 6/6/2023. Dustin served for 1 month, 2 weeks, and 5 days.
I will second.
Further discussion? I vote aye. Mr. Paradise?
Aye.
Ms. Otto?
Aye.
Ms. Andrioff?
Aye.
Mr. Solars?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Planning and zoning.
Mr. Mayor, council, staff, on the 24th of May this year, we had a public hearing in regards to mobile food unit parking in the city of Montrose in residential areas. There was quite a bit of discussion. In the end, we decided to allow parking in residential areas for food trucks with the stipulations set forth by Mr. Gritman and the city attorney and city staff.
Go ahead. You go ahead. Could you just kind of summarize some of the discussion you guys had on that?
There was a lot of discussion on the definition of commercial vehicles. As Mr. Gritman explained, it's the same thing as a plumber, an electrician, a small contractor with a job trailer. There are size limitations on what you can park on a residential area. And it took some explaining to get that across. But once it did, we came forth with the recommendation that's before you.
Are there any questions about the amended ordinance?
So with the food truck, you're just parking there,
Yep,
right?
yep.
Not doing anything inside the home?
You can't prep anywhere on the premises. You cannot set it up and sell.
Right.
It's just like parking your ice castle there. You just park it. Or
Where do
RV
you
or
do all the
anything.
prep?
Excuse me?
I'm wondering where all the prep is done? Just inside the
That's-
truck, or is it back and forth in between the house and the truck?
Most of the time, people just go to a rented facility, cafeteria, cook station, what have you, to prepare their food, to put it on their truck, and then go out and do their sales. That will not be allowed.
Okay.
Well, it's at the residence.
Okay.
Are there any other questions on the amended ordinance?
Nope, I think it's pretty straightforward.
Okay, do you have anything else as far as planning and zoning goes?
No, we do not have another meeting in June. That has been canceled. Hopefully July we'll get back together if we have more on the docket. I don't like to have a meeting just to have a meeting. If we got something to do, then we meet.
All right, thanks, Chuck.
Great, thanks.
Thanks, Chuck.
Anybody? I'll make a motion to approve ordinance number 2023-03, an ordinance amending multiple sections of the Montrose City zoning code relating to storage of mobile food units.
I'll second.
Further discussion? Hearing none. Mr. Solars?
Aye.
Ms. Andrioff?
Aye.
Ms. Otto?
Aye.
Mr. Paradise?
Aye.
I'll vote aye. Motion passes 5-0. Okay, I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 2023-11, authorizing the summary publication of ordinance 2023-03.
I will second.
Further discussion? I'll vote aye. Mr. Solars?
Aye.
Ms. Andrioff?
Aye.
Mr. Paradise?
Aye.
Ms. Otto?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Anything else on planning and zoning? City engineer?
Good evening, Mayor Council. First item on the agenda is approval of pay application number 10 to Keekly Underground for Phase 1, the Downtown Improvement Project Phase 1. Amount of the payment due to Keekly is $221,197.23. Majority of that work that was completed would have been the work this spring for the wearing course and the seating, other miscellaneous items. So maybe our recommendation to approve pay up 10.
How far completed is that?
They are, so the full retainage is still being withheld to 5%. They are primarily just, the only thing they have left is minor punch list items here and there. Little things that are coming up, grading this, doing that, but by and large, they're substantially complete here with the project.
Okay. Have they run into any issues with the last buttoning up of anything up here?
Not to my knowledge, no. I mean, there's been a few things that residents have asked about and we're addressing as they come through. So I think there might be some additional ones that we're going to talk about tomorrow as well, but yeah.
What sort of issues?
I think just a lot of them are seeding and getting the grass to grow and restoration type of issues.
Okay.
So common ones that were oftentimes, it's what people care about the most, understandably so, yep.
I'll make a motion to approve, pay application number 10 for 2021 Downtown Improvement Project Phase 1.
I'll second.
Further discussion? One quick question. I had actually had brought up, are they gonna paint lines on all sides and down the middle?
No, that is not included in the project scope to do painting, striping of.
What I thought, I
roadways.
just wanted to make sure.
Yep, just the crosswalks. That's kind of city policy throughout, and except for the major collector roads. Yep.
You talking about them nice double white or double yellow strips down First Street? What's up with that? I gotta ask.
I'm sorry, the what?
The double yellow strips
Yep.
on First Street, why?
Well, that is more of a collector roadway. So oftentimes those roadways are striped. It is a very curvy road, as well, and striping does provide some level of traffic calming as well. With that striping on there, people feel like they need to stay within their lane. It's a visual cue for people to stay within their lane and within their area. So, for those reasons, that is why it is being striped, or why it was striped.
I mean, it looks nice. It brought the question that,
Yeah.
are they doing up here? So,
So like Clementa is striped, First Street striped, those major roadways.
further discussion on the pay application number 10. Ms. Andrioff?
Aye.
Mr. Solars?
Pay application number 8.
9.
10, no, it's 10, we're on the first
Yeah,
one.
but-
Time we're still on first.
Sorry. Aye.
I'll vote aye. Mr. Paradise?
Aye.
Ms. Otto?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Did you follow along?
Sorry.
Give him mayor one
Not
time.
not in charge for one time. Pay application number 8 for the Phase 2.
Yes, this is to Northdale Construction. Total amount due is $327,714.92. And again, this is for work completed this spring, the majority of that being the final wearing course and the milling and paving of First Street North and the striping. So they are substantially complete on that project as well.
I'll make a motion to approve pay application number 8 for the Downtown Improvement Project Phase 2.
I'll second number 8.
Further discussion? Ms. Otto?
Aye.
Mr. Paradise?
Aye.
I'll vote aye. Mr. Solars?
Aye.
Ms. Andrioff?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Updated AUAR.
Mayor, Council, the alternative urban area-wide review, also known as AUAR, is now ready for final adoption by the City Council. The plan is available and has been available for viewing by the public on the city's website. We did send it out per EQB rules to agencies for review and comment. We received back 3 comments from the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, the DNR, and the MPCA. The comments received were considered insignificant, were not considered significant. They're generally routine comments that they often comment on, just assuring that as future projects come up, those specific permits and other things related to a specific development project per se will get followed. So the MPCA did have a little bit of comment about the regionalization, wastewater regionalization, as we did put some language in the AUAR about that. We did indicate that the city was just exploring that as an option. They asked for some additional growth projections and how that would impact everything, and I felt like that was getting the cart before the horse a little bit as to where we're at, and we just responded simply saying that the city is pursuing this as only as an option at this time. There is no agreement in place, and the city, if that regionalization discussion doesn't go anywhere, or decides the city always has an option to expand your wastewater plant on your own, and that's, you know, so there's options there for the city to expand, because obviously that is a requirement to continue growing, is that there will need to be additional capacity at the plant, or regionalization, one of the two. So that's really where they were concerned, from that. Yeah, other than that, it's kind of a summary document, so it references the original 2018 AUAR completely, and then it hits things that changed in this document, here. There is a summary in there of the mitigation measures, kind of a table that tableizes the mitigation measures as they were in the original plan, and anything that's changed. So for the most part, not a lot changed. It was updating some things regarding new permitting requirements, stormwater rules, updating some maps, things like the new well that was drilled since 2018, and updating some language regarding water treatment and water plant. So in summary, that's kind of what I have. If anybody has any questions, I can try to answer.
Questions, comments, or concerns with the updated AUAR?
The recommendation is for approval of the resolution adopting the final AUAR.
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution 2023-12, the final AUAR update.
Second. Further discussion? Ms. Andrioff?
Aye.
Ms. Otto?
Aye.
Mr. Paradise?
Aye.
Mr. Solars?
Aye.
And I'll vote aye. Motion passes 5-0. Any other updates?
I have none unless you have any questions for me.
Any other questions?
Have we heard any feedback from Pheasant Hills as far as getting any bids yet?
Mayor Council, we did provide a memo on that, kind of summarizing our meeting that we had with them. So I do suspect that we'll be seeing, you guys will be seeing some additional information on that. We do have a city staff meeting tomorrow, so we'll be reviewing the details of that regarding that meeting that took place. And they were presented with, we updated some costs, so that we have updated costs, modified the scope a little bit to include an additional property, met with those properties, discussed potential assessment agreements that would be need to be in place for that. So we've outlined that in a memo, and I would say that we'll be reviewing that tomorrow and then coming back to you.
Sounds good.
Okay, Park and Rec.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, City staff. You have to bear with me since this will be my first time taking over for Dwayne. Let's see, Park and Rec meeting minutes. We reviewed some more changes to the Park and Trail plan. The final verbiage is expected to be done shortly. We're hoping to wrap everything up, including there's some more data that we need. And I know a request has been put in for that with the city engineer. But we're expecting to complete the park and trail plan by the end of summer. We also discussed a couple of park changes. The name changes, because unfortunately when you Google the disc golf course in Montrose, it does not come up with the current name. So we're looking at changing it to match Google to the Montrose Disc Golf Course. And the second park that, if you Google it, does not show up as Regional Park. It actually shows up as Rolling Meadows Park, which, considering starting next week, they're going to start prepping that for seeding. I know they're spraying next week, and then they're going to be putting in field grass. Seemed very fitting to adopt that name. There was a couple of requests by the commission for a park sign to be placed. Looks like Whitetail and Sunset Avenue, directing people to the disc golf course just because there's kind of confusion there. Another park sign to be placed at the northeastern end of the park trail into Forest Creek Park on Breckenridge Lane. And we've also discussed digging out the horseshoe pits. As far as I can tell, nobody's been using them, and they're in really bad shape.
I just saw a group of people using it the other day.
Okay?
Coming for a call to the fire department, so I don't want to say that nobody has been using it.
Okay, that's fair, because the last I
The
had
first I've
heard.
ever seen, but it was happening.
Right.
Let's hope.
Last I had heard, and I mean, this is over the last year, I haven't heard of anybody using them, so. The next item we had on our agenda was Summer Splash. Unfortunately, due to some commissioners not being able to attend and no assistance from the fire department, we did decide to cancel Summer Splash, and we are planning a fall event, something along the lines of Oktoberfest. It'll probably be either the last week of September or the first 2 weeks of October. Currently, as you could probably see when you pulled in, there's a couple of swing sets being installed. They have the curbing in right now. From what I understand, after that cures, they can install the swing sets, and then comes the wood chips down the line. Is that correct, Dan? We're also talking about a Northridge Park possible grant to possibly pave a parking lot, so you don't feel like you're driving down a trail to get to where the parking is for currently the hockey rink. If we can get the correct grant, we could possibly put in a full basketball court back there as well. I mean, there's plenty of room back there. And other than that, we did get, as you can probably see in your packet, we did get an applicant for Park and Rec. It was Kim Niska. And the Park and Rec is recommending her approval. Final two items that, well, one was forgotten before. We're requesting to spend up to $125 to send flowers to Dwayne Isles Service out of our budget. And we had a request from Celebrate Montrose to donate $200 for the coin game for the kids. Both were approved 4-0. That is all I have. Any questions or?
Yeah, so if we were to change the name of the regional park, how would that affect potential funding? Because isn't that why it was named that way, was if it's regional, you can open yourself up to more funding?
Maybe, but I think the reason too is if we were to call like Wright County and say regional park, they have no idea where it is. It comes up as Rolling Meadows. So that's kind of the issue there too. So I don't know.
Couldn't we just skirt that by calling it Rolling Meadows Regional Park?
Yeah. Yeah, because if Wright County gets called, they don't know what regional park is. It comes up as Rolling Meadows. So.
Same thought I had, but I just wanted to, I wanted to point out there that to make sure that we kept that in there, because I believe there was a funding reason behind calling it that.
When did the name switch? I guess, to regional.
I think on the plat, that's what it was called, but when it was turned into, to be the big regional park, when the city acquired it, that's when it changed with the city, but apparently not Google. Google controls the world. Yep. I didn't say that.
Said it out loud.
I didn't mean it.
Definitely.
I mean, so would you guys be okay with a name change like that to keep regional park in the name?
I mean, we discussed it. I can say that for sure, just off of recollection. When it was brought up to keep regional in there at all, we were wondering, when is Wright County going to get involved in the park? Or anybody in the region besides the city of Montrose? That was brought up.
Would then Park and Rec need to reach out to Wright County's park development, maybe?
We can.
See what they can do, because I know at one point, back a few years ago, they talked about, joining up, like the the trail along Buffalo Avenue.
Yep.
And, you know, that's supposed to, like, connect into Waverly, and that might be, it would go through Regional Park then, or Rolling Meadows.
Yeah, and there was previous discussion on putting in infrastructure, but right now with putting in the prairie grass, there was no urgency to get trailway or paved roads through there at this point. So we were looking at making a difference in other parks and letting that one sit for now. I mean, but with the improvements that I know were, approved last month by the council, so. But I'm more than willing to go to Buffalo or Wright County and find out what their plans are.
Before I make the motion there's no issue with sending of flowers out of their budget, right? Just want to make sure. I don't think it should be a problem, but they asked for the approval.
You've done flowers before.
Yeah, I think flowers is okay
Okay.
for that purpose, yeah.
I will make a motion, to allow Park and Rec to spend up to $125 for a flower arrangement for former Commissioner Dwayne Isles' funeral/memorial service.
I'll second.
Further discussion? I'll vote aye. Mr. Paradise?
Aye.
Ms. Otto?
Aye.
Ms. Andrioff?
Aye.
Mr. Solars?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. 125 for that, 200 for the coin.
Yes, that
Was
was
there
the
another
second-
one?
That was the second one. Nope.
Just
That's
those
the
two?
Last one, those two. And then the approval of the new member if possible, but.
Did the Park and Rec did the coin game last year, right? The coin hunt,
2019. Yeah,
2019.
last, yeah.
Feels like last year.
Yeah, we can forget.
Yeah.
You gonna say something?
Yes, Mayor and Council. When this was brought up last year, similar issue, asking for a donation to a community group from the Park and Rec Recreational Fund. The lawyer had stipulated, our city attorney, specifically that the city has no legal authority to donate to any person or community organization, no monetary donations. The only donation we have in our budget is specifically to the Delano Area Food Shelf, and that is specified in statute.
Can they then
Sponsor the event.
Yep.
The way a sponsorship would work is the city can only give funds, can only spend funds to a community organization if it is contracting a community organization to perform a function that is already a public purpose function that the city would already do. The example being, if the Boy Scouts are going around, they have contracts where they mow lawns or pick up trash, and they do that for donations, and the city already has a function where they mow lawn or pick up trash on their own property. The city could contract with that organization to do that function, providing funds to them, not necessarily as a donation, but to carry out a contracted service that is already a public purpose. Our city attorney has specifically said that donating to events and community organizations is not within the scope of what would be a public use. There are about 5 or 6 stipulations about what city governments can, well, some town and city governments separately can put money toward. The only organizations that are outlined in there with any relevant amount of money would be through something like a Chamber of Commerce. So the city could donate money through a Chamber of Commerce to put on events. So that was the same discussion last year when I believe it was Burgers in the Park was requesting funds. We did provide funds through the avenue of advertising through the, what was the radio station?
KRWC.
KRWC.
Do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, the idea was that after much discussion, members of Park and Rec would also work the booth or I don't know how you set it up, and by sponsoring it, we would also take some ownership in it. And it was brought up to split the profits if there is any, but that wasn't why Park and Rec was doing it. I mean, we just want to give back to somebody. So
Michael, could, instead of donating $200 to Celebrate Montrose, could, during Celebrate Montrose, Park and Rec hold that and do it on their own? Therefore, there's no exchange there, donation.
As a Park and Rec event, I guess I can't answer that question. I'd have to dig deeper in. I asked one specific question, hearing that this was potentially on the table. I asked one specific question of our city attorney.
Well, that's how it was ran last time, was Park and Rec ran the event. They didn't donate or they just ran it. And it was acknowledged that Park and Rec, the event was sponsored by Park and Rec.
Yeah, again, I can't answer that. I don't know how it was done before, but I can't answer that.
I guess the approval we would look for in this instance, and it probably can't be given today, is to run the coin hunt and out of our funds provide $200 during the event, so it'd become a Park and Rec event.
I think once Michael looks into it a little more,
Right.
to make sure we're not crossing any lines.
Yeah, we
here,
don't want to
then-
cross any lines, obviously.
So we might have
Would
to
look
come
for
back.
approval next council meeting.
Oh. Once we get some clarification on it.
Okay.
The November.
And the last item that they had was the approval or denial of a new Park and Rec member.
I'll make a motion to approve new commission member Kimberly Niska.
I'll second.
Further discussion? Mr. Solars?
Aye.
Ms. Andrioff?
Aye.
Ms. Otto?
Aye.
Mr. Paradise?
Aye.
I'll vote aye. Motion passes 5-0. Congratulations, Kimberly, if you're here or watching.
Then, Mr. Mayor, one question. Do we need approval on the disc golf name change? I
don't think so. I think because Parks is under your guys' purview.
Okay.
That's a good question, though.
From what we've heard from people that go there, which they are very impressed by the course, nobody calls it Whitetail Ridge, or it's Montrose Disc Golf.
Is that another county question? Like, I don't know how that goes.
I mean, that's how it is on Google. I think
Yeah.
we just put it in the new pamphlet.
Yeah.
That,
Put
you know,
in some new signs. I would imagine if you guys want to change the name of a park, maybe we would need to approve that, but I guess we'd have to look into that, but I would say no at this point if you guys are doing it.
Well, we'll just put it, going forward, we'll put it in our material.
One final thing that there is for Park and Rec, and this was a request that Dwayne had made a month or two ago, to do a recognition for all of the Park and Rec Commission members, just to say thank you and to show the appreciation for how good of a job you all have done since coming along. So I'll read off the names and then David can hand out the certificate to them. So please come up and get your certificate. Eddie Colasa. Kayla McCluskey. Thanks, Kayla. Josh Swanson. Thanks, Josh. And Toby Nelson. Thanks, Toby.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. And I believe Christie would like to get a picture of you for her.
So don't go running away.
No. This is a you guys thing.
Like you like each other.
Any questions for Park and Rec?
Just keep doing what you guys are doing. You guys are doing fantastic.
Yep, I'd like to just reiterate what Dwayne was trying to do. I mean, you guys are doing a great job. So just keep it up.
It's definitely a team effort.
Yeah. Pretty good team you got there.
I think that's all we have then.
Thank you.
Thank you, Toby.
Thanks, Toby.
One thing I appear to be missing though. Danny, did you have any updates for us? Nothing? Okay.
Ain't missing anything.
Are the summer help here?
Yes. Started today. I didn't notice that before, that Public Works wasn't on here.
He didn't want to talk anyways.
He didn't want to talk.
Old business, signage for Breckenridge Lane and Whitetail Lane discussion.
Mayor and council, I believe Chief Trippett was gonna look up some stuff with this too, and I don't know if, Dan, you have any information about how much maybe signs might cost to put out there?
I didn't per se go back and watch the last council meeting, I didn't attend, but they were talking about lighted speed limit signs. I looked into some of those that, show you your speed, looking at $4,000 to $6,000 a sign. Well, I don't know what exactly Kevin Triplett was gonna look into.
I think
Lake County.
Kevin was gonna look into that, though. I was talking to him off the record, that looking at using some of the money that we have from COVID
Okay.
to purchasing rather than requesting from the Wright County to get that. That way we can have that on our own, put that up into areas that we have residential complaints to help slow things down. So I know he was gonna look at the different costs, but I think the higher end was like the 4 to 6 range.
Yep.
That actually has data that provides what the speeds actually are for people that we can see after the fact, so.
And the basis of that, most of them have to be solar powered, right? So they get a little bit more spendy.
Yeah,
We're not gonna run electric lines just to do a light, but, I was wondering where the money is coming from, cause if it comes out of Public Works sign budget, it's a no-go.
Kevin was gonna look through as far as
right.
emergency management function.
I haven't really talked to Kevin, but I'd be more than willing to work with him on, doing that, so. That's all I know. I just looked into a little bit and I looked at my budget and I'm like, no way Public Works is gonna take it out of their budget, so.
So I think Kevin would have the answer on
Yeah,
A, how much, B, how long it would take to get here. Because I
and
know,
we'll install.
yeah,
We'll do the install.
and then
Doesn't look that
well, we
hard.
don't have to install, it's just you can move it around.
Oh, you're talking about a mobile one?
Yep, mobile unit that we can move around.
That we keep?
Yep, that we keep.
Okay,
Yep,
okay.
that's exactly what he was gonna look into. Cause, we can put the, watch for kids playing and all that stuff. We know that it doesn't deter much, and we wanna find something that's gonna do the right things, for these neighborhoods.
Well, I was just talking about the signage ones. That's what I looked into, the ones that actually go on the posts.
On
and
the
stay
poles,
there.
yeah.
So I'm gonna bet that mobile one's gonna be triple, if not quadruple that.
He said it was right around the same price. You said the ones that sit there on the post are actually more expensive.
Really?
If we have some of that COVID money, though, I don't think it would be a bad idea to get 2 or 3 of those signs, because First Street could use something like that, too.
Right off of Garfield.
Right where I go.
Right at the stop sign, yes. That nobody stops at, yes.
But I think, yeah, because I think that's the route that Kevin was gonna look into for us, and that way we can have a better idea and proposal for those neighborhoods.
Perfect.
Sounds good.
Any other discussion on that? No? Okay, the preserve proposal update.
Mayor and council, I just wanted to give everyone an update that we did receive 2 proposals. We'll be looking at that on sort of a staff and council level during this month, just to go through them. In July at the meeting, we'll probably have the developers here in case there's any questions for them, and go from there. Planning, zoning, and EDA will also be discussing these in July, so just to get the information in front of everybody and see what everybody thinks, so.
Anything else on that? Questions?
Nope, just,
We all got a copy of that, right?
yep. Just wanna see something move forward there.
New business, donation for Celebrate Montrose.
I'm not sure why this is on here now with the discussion that we just had.
Yeah, and so when we talk to the attorney, one of the things that we can provide is utilities. So we can provide the bathrooms for Montrose Days, or for Celebrate Montrose event. So if you would like us to do that and council is agreeable, that is okay.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So with that discussion, it is about $1,700 for mini biffs currently, but I'm looking at dropping the amount of biffs, so we wouldn't exceed that amount, 1,700.
How much, for 1,700, how much you getting?
How many biffs?
Yeah.
8 regulars and 1 handicap. So,
That's the cost for a weekend for that many?
kind of sad, isn't it?
I know.
It's like
that's-
$350.
geez,
a
I gotta get in the Biffy business.
Yeah. Randy's is donating, all of the bins and recycle bins and all that kind of stuff, so.
I think that to help get the Celebrate Montrose Days, whatever name it's going to have going forward, kind of off the ground again after the really rough years we had with all the pandemic stuff. I think that it would be a good investment for the city to make to help bring the community together, even if it's for 1 day, 2 days, whatever it ends up being.
I agree.
And you can never have too many bathrooms, so I think 8 and 1 is probably a good number. So I'll make a motion for the city of Montrose to pay for 8 regular mini biffs and a handicap mini biff for Celebrate Montrose Days.
I will second.
Further discussion on mini biffs.
We don't need to have more discussion on it.
No, I think we've discussed.
We
many
did that
of
with
those.
wastewater.
Mr. Paradise.
Aye.
Ms. Otto?
I'm gonna abstain.
Ms. Andrioff?
Aye.
Mr. Solars?
Aye.
All vote aye. Motion passes 4-0-1.
Councilmember Otto, I was just gonna ask if you could, when in the planning of that, could Montrose, City of Montrose get billed directly from Minibib, or we can order them with our account, through our account, just however.
Yeah, because that's who we're going through is who the city uses, so, okay.
Is there anything else on that, part of that?
Mini biffs? No.
No.
I had no open forum requests, upcoming meetings. Planning and zoning, June 14th was canceled. Park and Rec, July 11th, 6 PM, City Hall. EDA, Tuesday, June 20th, 12 PM, City Hall. The next regular city council meeting is July 10th, 7 PM here, and the next city council workshop is July 31st, 4 PM at City Hall. Acknowledgements and/or announcements.
I'd like to acknowledge Justin Phillips for his 11 years of service with the Montrose Fire Department. He's one of our captains as well, so we're going to miss him dearly.
Yeah, thanks. I'll cross that off my list. Thanks for that.
Who's
Go
got your
ahead.
paper?
Sorry.
Yep.
I want to acknowledge, I don't know if we did this before, CCC for the bench that they put out at the Rolling Meadows Regional Park. And then Public Works, I'm not sure who did it, but the clearing out of that tree on First Street. So you want to thank your guys, Dan?
Yeah, I wanted to acknowledge Public Works as well. And of course, you guys are getting into the busy part and you're spraying for mosquitoes, so thank you for taking care of the Minnesota state bird. And then, it wasn't directly said today, but this is something that they talk about often, but just keep your cars locked and to take your garage door opener out of your car at night. Prevents a lot of break-ins. Anything else?
Dan, when are we spraying? Tuesdays, Thursdays?
Tuesdays, Wednesdays, or Thursday night, but it has to be still and it can't rain, so. It's gonna be one night a week, one of those nights. Sundown is when we usually start, so. I wanna remind everybody, they're not going too fast. It is 13 to 15 miles per hour. You might think they're going by fast, but trust me, they wanna get out of here. They're doing between 13 and 15 miles per hour because, that's what the sprayer is set at. We try not to do any roads twice because the chemical is very expensive. And if you don't like it by your house, you could call City Hall or email me and we can shut it off when we go by your property. That's all I got to say, because I got a lot of phone calls on that, so.
I guess we'll find out.
MSDS is on the city's website.
Yeah, please don't shut it off when you drive my house.
I'll take the extra.
Yeah.
You can drive even slower by
So-
mine.
Yeah.
We started last week. They sprayed from 9 to 12:30. That's how long it takes to do the entire town, so.
Yeah.
Hoofda.
They're also spraying, we try to go into some parks depending, and then the trailer court behind Old Casey gets sprayed. We don't do 12 high because they're not really in city limits, it's private, but.
Thanks, Danny.
Yep.
Any other acknowledgements? If not, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Mr. Solars?
Aye.
I'll vote aye. Ms. Andrioff?
Aye.
Ms. Otto?
Aye.
Mr. Paradise?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. We're adjourned.